Hi, my name is Tom Farr-Porsche, CEO of Thrive Bioscience. Prior to founding Thrive, I started 17 companies. I've had 7 unicorns or multi-billion dollar exits, almost all in AI and life sciences and the intersection. I've also been on the investing side. I've been general partner of a large international venture capital and private equity firm. And then I started a fund in China with the city of Shanghai as my sole investor. I've run some small and intermediate sized public pharmaceutical companies, but what I really like to do is start companies. And my most recent one, Thrive Bioscience, I've raised $40 million. Our funding has mostly been from angel groups, 7 angel groups, but by far the most from family offices. And we have the Estee Lauder family, the KP Chow family from Hong Kong, the Parker Brothers family. They make the game Monopoly, and they had sold to General Mills. I'm kind of a RESI baby. The very first conference I went to was right after starting Thrive in 2014. I've raised $40 million, and I don't think I could have done the vast majority of it without RESI. I'm very appreciative for what they provide, but I also learned you have to take advantage, and you get sometimes what you put in. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Well, so maybe starting with you, because one of the things in your intro that stood out is that so you raised $40 million to date with your current company, Thrive Bioscience. What was your experience like at RESI in the past and securing investment from investors that you met there? Could you share a little bit more about that?
I've been to many of them, probably 1 or 2 or 3 per year. I think it takes a lot of persistence, and sometimes culturally, it's hard to be as persistent if you're not American as Americans can be. It does take a certain level of aggressiveness and taking advantage of what's available at these conferences. So the panels that you have at the RESI conferences are incredible. There's angel investing. They're on family office investing, corporate venture capital investing. And I was always surprised. I would always sit in the front row, have my cards ready, and as soon as it was over, I would run up with my 1-pager and a card to the panelists. I was often one of few. So as I mentioned, a lot of times you get what you put into something and how you take advantage of those resources. I found it a great way to meet individuals. I raised in a fairly short period of time, less than a year and a half, over $7 million. That's not including amounts that have come from those investors who've introduced me to other investors. We're probably at about half of the 40 million. So I have found you can't just go to one conference and expect that you're going to raise everything. Investors often need to see you and see you several times and kind of be comfortable with you. Definitely having a poster was a great opportunity to stand in front of that and have people come to you. Also having the opportunity to present has been helpful. I've used the database to send out contacts and to see kind of who knows who and at least identify the companies, and then through LinkedIn find a way to have a warm introduction. And finally, I think the staff of Life Science Nation is a resource. And I don't think that most take advantage of it, but I would ask many of you for your input. And sometimes you would provide that input voluntarily. You need to listen, and we all need to listen. So those are a few of my experiences with RESI over 10 years.
Great. Thank you so much for your input, Tom, and congratulations on your success.
My name is Yao. I'm a managing director at Life Capital. Life Capital is a global investor with offices in Menlo Park, which is the office I'm based out of, and also in Singapore, Shanghai, and South Korea. So in total, we manage about $2 billion US, and I think we one of the main things that we do at Life Capital is support our portfolio companies with cross-border endeavors. Since our founding, we've done many deals with multinational companies. For our portfolio companies, our typical check sizes are at least 5 million, and we could do Series A onwards. One of the first few conferences I ever went to when I started at Life Capital was actually with RESI, so it's been a very long endeavor. But no, I think RESI has been one of a very good resource. I think every year we always try to attend, and even if I can't, we always have some team member there. And I mean, it's a great resource to see a lot of companies out there and also find possible investments through RESI. Also, I've met a large network of folks from multinationals, from other investors, also attending these events. And I think throughout the years, what's interesting is some of these folks end up going to do spectacular things. And we continue to use RESI as a resource and kind of look through companies, find possible targets, and also just catch up with meet new people and catch up with old friends. So.
The bottom line is it's really good for both investors and investees, and I'll tell you why. As an angels, and our focus is a Series C and a Series A, and of the 9 portfolio companies that we established since 2 years ago, 3 were found in RESI, and there are many more potentials to identify in RESI. Especially our focus is not really the typical exit like M&A and an IPO, but for them to get the qualified finance. And RESI attract a lot of early startups and biotechs. So from the investor's point of view, especially for angels, that will be a really good platform. And now from the investee's point of view, I also run a couple of biotechs. I took some of those to RESI. There are significant benefits. One is having exposure of a dynamic ecosystem in the United States and abroad is a must, right? As I said, I think you should have a mindset to get the highest possible returns. In order to do that, you need a money, you need a funds, you need a platform, you need a lot of help. And there are many biotechs that can be competitive, but because they have a limited reach out to opportunities, they lose a lot of opportunities here by doing so. So that's the reason why I encourage my own biotechs to participate, and they have actually done so. And I would be more than supportive for any biotechs or startups who are interested in involving RESI. Again, you will meet a lot more investors than what you see. For drug discovery, you need 20 million, 30 millions at the stage of Series A, which is very, very, very difficult to raise. Why your company excels over whatever exists in the United States and abroad. And this is where you test your case. The RESI is the place where you can test your case by talking to a lot of investors. I think it's a really great platform. Attending the RESI or meeting the foreign VCs will get you established how to build the narratives. And I think being a storyteller is extremely important. Of course, that has to be substantiated by science, but storytelling is a paramount. You may be able to give a great science presentation, but if you won't be able to tell from the business perspective and the entire context, it's not going to fly. And unfortunately, a lot of the storyteller is extremely difficult to build unless you get exposed to the environment. And this is also, I think this is one major reason why potential investees should attend these meetings to get exposure to become a great storyteller. And that also gives you competitive advantage.